So, are we going to war with Venezuela? Well, according to Fox News' most respected national security reporter, Jennifer Griffin, it sure looks like the United States is about to go to war with Venezuela. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we're going to take a look at Griffin's tweets in just a second, but let's look at the headline from Mediaite. Fox's Jennifer Griffin on Trump's military moves. Quote, looks to me like the U.S. military is going to war. Fox News' chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin made an ominous observation Friday about the deployment of several fighter jets and U.S. Navy vessels to Puerto Rico and the Caribbean Sea. So with that in mind, let's go straight to her tweets. The first one says the Pentagon is deploying 10 F-35 stealth fighter jets to Puerto Rico for counter-narcotics tasking in the Caribbean. A source familiar confirms to Fox News per Lucas at Fox News. Okay, another reporter. Then she goes on to say, she tweets herself and says, why would you need F-35 stealth fighter jets for counter-narcotics mission? The F-35s being sent to Puerto Rico are usually used for large bombing missions like the targeting of Iran's nuclear facilities, a fifth-generation supersonic fighter jet known for its lethality. It looks to me like the U.S. military is going to war. 8 U.S. Navy destroyers in the Caribbean near Venezuela is a first. That's pretty damn ominous because, listen, you say whatever you want about Fox News, Griffin is the real deal. She is widely respected, and you may recall we actually did a video about her. She's been in several of our videos, but we did a video that's most specifically about her months ago because she got chewed out by her former colleague, Pete Hegseth, who's now the defense secretary, because she was reporting accurately scoops that the Trump administration really didn't like. And he attacked her. And I mean, pretty much everybody spoke up in her defense, not just actually other Fox News hosts like Brit Hume and others, and that was good that they did, but people from other networks, reporters from other networks like, Jennifer Griffin is pretty much unimpeachable, but I digress. So the fact that she's saying this, really scary. So earlier in the week, Donald Trump announced he bombed a vessel in the Caribbean that was allegedly carrying drugs and operated by the Tren de Aragua gang. Quote, the strike occurred while the terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. No way. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Please let that serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the United States of America. The announcement raised questions surrounding the scope of the U.S. military's mission in the Caribbean and under what legal authority the Trump administration is operating. Vice President J.D. Vance was asked on Wednesday, quote, on the Venezuela strike, what legal authority were you guys working under, and will there be after-action reports on the strike? This is what Vance said, quote, well, I'm sure there's going to be an after-action report. I mean, the legal authority, and I want to talk about these kids, is that there are people who are bringing literal terrorists who are bringing deadly drugs into our country, and the President of the United States ran on a promise of stopping this poison coming into our country, Vance replied, dodging the question. Another question. That is not a legal authority to kill 11 people whom you designated without evidence. I mean, if you have the evidence, please share it, but you're not sharing it, that they are, Tren de Aragua members of the cartel. You saying, well, we ran on a promise of, reducing drug intake into the United States. Yeah, that doesn't give you carte blanche to go bomb a vessel off the coast of Venezuela, especially when you're the dove, the pro-peace candidate, right? Jesus. I will report when it comes to that. Democrats are reporting, according to Axios, that they were in the dark. They were left in the dark about Trump's drug boat strike. Leaders on the Senate Intelligence Committee are expecting to receive a bipartisan briefing this week about the deadly U.S. strike on a drug vessel off the shore of Venezuela, Axios has learned. Lawmakers want more information from the White House on what Trump officials have indicated is just the start of a broader military campaign. Democrats were left in the dark on the operation, multiple sources told Axios, and they want answers on the legal basis for the strike. Their leaders raised similar concern following Donald Trump's airstrikes on Iran in June. U.S. officials said the attack on the ship, which killed 11 members of the Tren de Aragua cartel, according to Trump, again, we don't know that that's the case, targeted drug trafficking, but it's threaded with the hopes of regime change in Venezuela. Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat of Arizona, a member of the Senate Intel panel, told Axios that stopping drugs from reaching the U.S. soil is a, quote, positive thing, but that he has not been officially briefed on the operation. Quote, Donald Trump will be gone at some point, and we should not put our service members in a position that they're doing things that are outside of legal boundaries. Democratic Senator Chris Coons, who's on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, also told Axios he received no briefing, background, or information on the strike. Quote, that is concerning. Senator James Risch told Axios that as a senior member of the Intel Committee, he has been briefed on the strike. Risch declined to provide any details on what that briefing looked like or when it took place, given the classification of such communications. Senator Bernie Moreno, who spent time in South America last month and has family in Colombia, cheered on the strike. Quote, they were bringing drugs that were going to kill Americans, so we killed them first. We're going to be doing a lot more of that. Moreno said that he didn't think Congress needs to be notified ahead of such strikes. I hate these people so much. Man, you have oversight responsibility. It's just so, man, the founders really miscalculated. They understandably thought, okay, part of the checks and balances will be that senators and representatives are going to have some sense of self-ambition and self-preservation, and they're going to want to assert their own power. They're just not going to let some punk-ass president of the United States roll up on them like that and just run roughshod. And here you have the MAGA movement they never anticipated, right? Can you imagine President Washington and James Madison and Alexander Hamilton and Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and all the founding fathers like, wait, what? These people spend all this time, effort, and energy and money trying to get into office when they probably could make more money elsewhere, and all they're doing is just rolling. I don't think you know what? Congress doesn't really need to be notified. Trump's doing it. Shit, he's got it. He's got it. We don't need to be notified about anything at any time. Like, listen, it's good. It's good. These people are pathetic. Congress is supposed to exercise oversight of the executive branch. That's why you have Senate and House committees that correspond with a major aspect of the executive branch. So, for example, you have the Judiciary Committee, which exercises oversight over the judiciary, the House Oversight Committee, which exercises general oversight over the executive branch, the Foreign Relations Committee, which exercises oversight of the State Department, and the Armed Services Committee, which exercises oversight of the Defense Department. Like, yeah, Congress is supposed to know. They're just abdicating this. Unbelievable. Trump announced the stunning strike on Tuesday in his militarized war on drugs. The U.S. has been amassing ships off Venezuela's shores and escalating tensions between the U.S. and the regime of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The administration has labeled Maduro the leader of a drug trafficking terrorist cartel, and I think there's a $50 million bounty on Maduro. The Intercept is reporting, according to a leak from the Trump administration, a high-ranking Pentagon official, that what Trump did to that boat was, in fact, illegal. So this is the title. Pentagon official. Trump boat strike was a criminal attack on civilians. A current DOD official and many military legal experts say the U.S. attack on a boat in the Caribbean near Venezuela broke international law. The lethal strike on a boat in the Caribbean on Tuesday was a criminal act on civilians, according to a high-ranking Pentagon official who spoke to The Intercept on the condition of anonymity. The Trump administration paved the way for the attack, he said, by firing the top legal authorities of the Army and the Air Force earlier this year. Quote, the U.S. is now directly targeting civilians. Drug traffickers may be criminals, but they aren't combatants, the DOD official said. Quote, when Trump fired the military's top lawyer, the rest saw the writing on the wall, and instead of being a critical fire break, they are now a rubber stamp complicit in this crime. And again, that's assuming they were actually drug traffickers in the first place. Donald Trump claimed that the attack was aimed, quote, against positively identified Trinidad narco-terrorists in a Truth Social post. He continued, TDA is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolas Maduro, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and the Western Hemisphere. Trump accompanied the post with a video of a 4-engine speedboat cutting through the water with numerous people on board, an explosion that then destroys the boat. Trump said the attack killed 11 people. It was unclear whether they were given a chance to surrender before the United States killed them. After days of silence, the White House issued a statement late Thursday claiming the attack was lawful. White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly said it was, quote, taken in defense of vital U.S. national interests and in the collective self-defense of other nations who have long suffered due to the narcotics trafficking and violent cartel activities of such organizations. P. Hegseth offered his own justification for the strike the same day. Quote, every boatload of any form of drug that poisons the American people is an imminent threat, and at the DOD, our job is to defeat imminent threats. A foreign terrorist organization poisoning your people with drugs coming from a drug cartel is no different than Al-Qaeda, and they will be treated as such as they were in international waters. And again, listen, Number one, if they are TDA officials, I mean, I'm not weeping, or TDA officials, TDA members, like cartel members, drug like officials, as though it's a government. If they were TDA members, am I going to be crying over the fact that they are no longer with us? No. But number two, yeah, I'm sorry, laws matter. Well, I mean, just by that logic, you could say that about any criminal or any alleged criminal, right? They're a threat to you. You're shoplifting. Send in the ICBM, right? We create laws, structures, and norms by definition. No, if they are actually, drug traffickers, no one's saying let them go. How about you interdict them? How about you arrest them, right? And then let's play this out. Let's game this out. Let's say there was an attempt to do that, which is what's expected under international law. Hey, if you think that this person are terrorists, or if you think that they're drug runners, drug traffickers, you can interdict. So you try to interdict, and let's say that they attack, and then in self-defense, you blow up the boat. That would be one thing. That's not here. They just dropped this, and we don't know what they are. Expert says Hegseth's rationale was flimsy, if not farcical. TDA being designated as a foreign terrorist organization is a purely domestic law enforcement designation. It offers no authority for the military to use deadly force, said Todd Huntley, who was an active duty judge advocate for more than 23 years, I can't read, serving as a legal advisor to special operation forces engaged in counterterrorism missions around the world. Quote, under international law, there's no way this even gets close to being a legitimate use of force. Other legal experts have agreed with Huntley, now the director of the National Security Law Program at the Georgetown University Law Center. Members of Congress have echoed the sentiment. Quote, Congress has not declared war on Venezuela or TDA, and the mere designation of a group as a terrorist organization does not give any president carte blanche to ignore Congress's clear constitutional authority on matters of war and peace, said Representative Ilhan Omar. Quote, there is no conceivable legal justification for this use of force, unless compelling evidence emerges that they were acting in self-defense. That makes the strike a clear violation of international law. And then again, Hegseth notes that they're not going to stop. They're going to continue with these strikes. The Venezuelan Minister of the Interior, Justice and Peace called the Tuesday attack, quote, an illegal massacre in international waters, and said the United States, quote, had violated international law. Brian Finucane, who worked for a decade at the Office of Legal Advisor at the Department of State, where he advised the U.S. government on counterterrorism and other military matters, also noted that designating a group as a foreign terrorist organization does not, by itself, provide authority for the use of military force. Again, so we're just seeing one affirmation after another. And again, Hegseth's like, we know who was on the boat, but as far as I am aware, they have offered no compelling evidence for that. But all this is to say that we are seeing a mobilization and a show of force off the coast of Venezuela, and the fact that a celebrated Fox News reporter on national security says this looks like we're going to war is not really encouraging at all. And who knows where we'll be a week from now. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.